Mike.
Go.
Good evening, everybody. It's 9 o'clock or shortly thereafter. It's time for What's on Joe Mind. You're in the TeamStream Lounge. I'm your host, Mike Irizarry. With me, as always, the former head of the G.I. Joe brand, the former head of marketing for the G.I. Joe brand. I'm sorry. I snuck the wrong word. I got my words out of order. But it's the Hot Show, Mark Weber.
Feliz Navidad from El Hancho.
We unfortunately the budget cuts swallowed up the horn section.
Yeah, well,
so we don't have the background guys going.
Right. Hopefully, the new year we'll get the smoke machine back, and I can do the big entrance, and it'll be good. So, but it's good to see you, Mike. It's even better to see you, Joe Colton.
I miss you too.
That sounded creepy, but it wasn't. But
it's okay.
Joe Colton's. Joe Colton sightings are more rare than Sasquatch.
Right? We're putting the band back together.
It was my birthday. I didn't know anything was happening.
Right, but there was a week before that, right? And then it's been like a month.
It was not.
So it means like it's an extended Thanksgiving vacation just in time, coming back just in time for another holiday.
But when you miss 2 shows back to back, Joe, there's 6 days before that are Coltonless. And 6 days after it that are Coltonless. So
it will not happen again.
Damn near a February. Pretty much a February since we've seen you.
Sorry. I'm sorry.
Fair enough.
Since the quarantining began, we have only seen Joe Colton a handful of times.
Right. She totally got married, I bet. I bet she got married.
I'll bet so.
Yeah.
I did. I haven't changed my name though.
That's probably for the best. Have you learned how to spell the old name yet?
No.
I mean, it's challenging.
It is.
I'm not saying that as a slight to your intelligence. I'm saying that because your name's impossible.
I think there's a real opportunity here to take real name, show name, and married name and double hyphenate and go nuts.
Yeah, that's a lot of letters.
Joe Colton -redacted -wristlock.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
I'm all over it. I'm just saying, you got options.
So, Joe Colton, you were about to tell us before we came on the air, you have won a bunch of Christmas-inspired contests?
Yes. So
explain.
I've been working a lot, and as a treat to us, where I'm working, they wanted to do a Christmas thing, but we can't social distancing, and so we were talking about doing Zooms. And so 2 nights ago, they sent out an immediate, like an emergency email that said, since we're doing this on Friday, we want you guys to come up with comics or cartoons that you find that are like cool and funny. And then the other 2 were like decorating for Christmas and desserts for Christmas. So I did decorating and won. And then I did the desserts. And so the one category under desserts was COVID. And the alcoholic drink won, called the Snowflake Martini. And then I got second place for that with the cream cheese roll horns that I made. I don't know if you guys saw them online. And then they had another category that was overall Christmas, and I lost to gingerbread. Yeah, gingerbread trees that were like painted green. And then the third was overall beautiful. And I said, okay. So they entered all of us back into that one. And so I entered Maggie's cake that she made for my birthday and my cream horns, and Maggie's cake won, and then I got second place for that one as well. And I was like, come on! But I won.
Maggie won.
So Maggie won.
What does Maggie get?
I don't know yet, but we get gift cards. So.
All right. There you go. That's something.
You actually
I know how it tastes.
I all 32 Santas and make like the Santa army and just march away with it.
So one of the girls that I've shown my Santa obsession to thought I was going to line them all up and have like a photo. But what I did was I spread them around the house, and so then I took a picture of the different things around the house, and so that they took one big picture that I sent in for the sunroom, and then different Santas and the doorway and the other two trees, and they like posted that, and people were like, wow, that person went all out, because it was anonymous, and they were like, oh, I bet you it's like upper management that's got like a maid. And I was like, oh boy, are they gonna. Then they saw the baby Yoda, and they were like, oh, maybe the husband's a geek. And I was like, oh, this is getting bad. And so they announced that I won, and I was like, yay! And the guy who put the slideshow together was like, I had to. There was a baby Yoda. Like, I had to make him center, and I was like, there's like other pictures you could have chosen. And he was like, no, it's the best thing right now is baby Yoda is saving us all during the pandemic.
Not that I would give decorating tips, but when the Santas get packed up in June.
Yes.
Before they come out again in July.
When you bring them out in July, line them up and make that March of the Wooden Soldiers photo and just save it before you disperse them to each quadrant of the home. And just have that Santa Apocalypse picture ready, because that's a guaranteed win.
I got out my baking game first.
You're the only person I know who army builds Santa.
It's you and Mick Foley.
Yeah.
Wait, Mick Foley loves Santas?
Oh, yeah.
Mick Foley is a Christmas fiend, yes. Yeah. He has a room in his house that is Christmas 365 days a year.
No.
Yes.
I need to see this.
I don't know if I've seen it, but he wrote about it in his books.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mick Foley is all about Santa, and it was roller coasters. And then eventually he was like, I'm too beat up to go on roller coasters anymore. So he had to give up one. He gave up the coasters.
Yeah, but now he also he looks more like Santa too, so he kind of swung even further that way.
Imagine Santa with one ear, and then,
right?
And you're pretty much there.
Terrifying.
One ear, missing a handful of teeth.
Yeah.
Walking a little crooked.
Mandible claw.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh.
But he looks like $1 million since he started doing the DDP yoga.
That's it. He's coming back, baby.
Works.
That's right. We're right there.
Wes has done DDP yoga.
Oh, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
I did for a while. I probably need to do it again.
I thought DDP did West yoga. That's what I thought.
He tried it for a while, but then he made some changes. So
he couldn't keep up. Yeah, DDP tapped out.
Had to tone it down a little bit.
Yeah, he was like, oh, my back.
Oh, my wrist.
Not as easy as it used to be. Oh.
The wrist lock. It's too much. Wrist lock yoga.
I got to be honest, Joe. That Santa's creeping me out. Can we move him a little bit, please? Or just spin him around. The one eye, when you first look at him, it looks like he's winking. But if you stare at him too long, it feels like there's something wrong with him, maybe.
He's just burrowing a hole in your soul.
Yeah.
Hold on, I'll go get another one.
Well, just put him by the screen facing you, and you look at him for an hour.
See, that's just going to make it worse.
Is he better?
He's better.
He's a bit more regal, yes.
Okay.
So I've seen Pirate Santa with the one eye, and now this is more classic curly beard Santa. Yeah. We know about realistic cushy tush Santa, who's the newest Santa, I believe.
Yeah, he's like right over here.
He's a rookie.
He had his time. It's time to share the spotlight a little bit.
This guy doesn't look like he accidentally glued his eyes shut. You know what? Can't blame him.
Oh, no, he's too sexy. He's too sexy.
No. Por favor.
There's always a Santa
God.
Claus.
Oh, I mean, 10 minutes before we actually did anything concerning the show. So
Yeah. Is that a record? What are we here for?
It's a little short for us actually, but it's good to get back into the swing of things.
Let's do this.
We don't meander as much when we have guests on. It's good to just be back to normal. And
when we meander with a guest host, they get lost, right?
Yeah.
You just look at them and they're like well, I thought we were going to talk about Mobat.
Well, God forbid we invite somebody on our G.I. Joe show and then don't talk about G.I. Joe for 15, 20 minutes.
Whatever.
But so, Honcho, how's your fantasy football going? No, we're not talking about that.
No.
First up is the news. There we go.
OG.
There we go. Quit typing, and you got responsibilities here.
I'm on the ball.
Try not to work on other stuff during the show. It's rude.
Right. Although sometimes she sews, but she at least has the decency to mute her microphone, and then forget to unmute it when she's got to talk. But that's a whole other thing. But first news item, Regal Cobra Commanders, that's the light blue variant, are starting to show up from Hasbro Pulse. So a lot of reports out there of folks who ordered the Regal Cobra Commander variant figure way back in, what was that, September?
Yeah.
I don't even remember anymore.
I think it was.
I didn't care about it, so I don't know. My time frame's all off on it. But yeah, they ordered it back then, and it's starting to trickle its way out. A lot of them are stuck in all the COVID closed mail centers, I'm sure. And, just continue to be patient. Our U.S. Postal Service has had a rough year. So let's be kind to those folks. Remember, Christmas lasts 12 days.
Yeah.
12 days of Christmas. If you've got it, if you don't have it by 11 pipers piping, perhaps then maybe we get a little nervous. But no nerves allowed before 11 pipers piping.
And it's not the post office's fault that someone crawfished them midway through the year and tried to make their jobs tougher.
Right. Not their fault that somebody removed half of the sorting machines to
Not gonna name
Fine.
But there's only how many days left, Joe? What's the count?
Like 30.
You don't know? You don't have it tattooed? What?
Disappointing.
No. It's 33 days.
Okay. This is an astute observation by Torpedo Mike here. Ooh, Joe is rusty. It's what happens when you're not on the show, Joe Colton. It's what happens.
Stop it.
I like
everybody getting restless.
I like that you say you mentioned that Cobra Commander, and immediately Matt Rubin goes network.
By a vowel.
2020 was a rough year for lots of people, and seriously, some people, an absolutely tragic year. But one of the highlights of this year was deleting the network app from my phone.
Is that going to be on your top 10 list?
I waited until the thing was until I got the Cobra Commander in my hand. And then I'm like, I did it on the show. Boom!
Yes, you did.
Right? So good. That's what all this was. That's just warming up for deleting that damn app.
Calisthenics, get the...
Yep. See you, network.
It's like a long
finger, right?
Oh. But the Fire Festive toys, I would agree with that if it wasn't if it was even that close to a big of a deal. I think we all knew how network was going to go. But anyways, either you guys have that one coming? I know we pretty well panned that variant.
I have it because
I have it.
I'm hooked. So
yeah, I took a pass. I don't need that one.
I take a pass at the retro line.
Is that your first classified figure, Mike, that you've gone, don't need that?
Well, I suppose it's tied with Cobra Island Roadblock. I didn't pick up that one either.
Yeah, I can see that.
And I probably would have picked up Cobra Island Roadblock had they started to turn up a little bit more frequently, but that didn't really happen.
I mean,
I think it was I think it was a consolation prize for a lot of the folks who couldn't find the other ones.
right. Even those are gone now, right?
Yeah, I haven't seen much of anything for several weeks.
I even looked behind the Venkmans and
Right?
nothing. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you figure he's right in line with Gung Ho. They're like the same guy. I can see how you'd get those confused.
I was in Target yesterday, and man, I mean, it looked like a bomb went off in the toy department.
Yeah.
It was hard. Like, there's still a lot of Legos because Legos are expensive. But outside of that Lego aisle, good gravy. Good luck finding something anybody wants.
So I didn't realize how expensive Legos got until I looked at a set, and I was like, "Why is this $600?"
Ridiculous. And other than their house-owned lines, like Lego City, they almost never go on sale, right? It's just like, that's the price, baby.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they're expensive to make. So Legos are not cheap. You're buying quality. But then they've got all those licenses on top of it to pay for. So I think that jacks the cost up a few dollars a piece as well. Anyways, next news item. G.I. Joe Operation Blackout is now available for the PC. This actually broke last week, but it was too late and I wasn't rewriting things. We had a guest last week. I'm not redoing the show.
Yeah.
Fans can buy the basic game on sale on Steam for $23.99 through December 21. So you got a few days left that you can pick it up at that sale price before it reverts to its regular price of $29.99. Also available until December 21 is a deluxe package with additional content, and that's if you buy it's the game plus the additional content is $35.16. It's usually $49.96. That bonus content includes a retro skins pack, which includes a 1980s look for Duke and Cobra Commander, a digital art book, the game soundtrack, and a G.I. Joe and Cobra weapons pack that has gold skinned weapons for Cobra and chrome skinned weapons for G.I. Joe. So if you're looking for Operation Blackout, you don't have the game systems to support those. If you've got a PC, you can pick that up for pretty inexpensive for another few days on Steam. If you're a Mac user like me, you're just out of luck.
Yeah. Hi, I'm a PC, and I'm playing G.I. Joe. And I'm a Mac, and I got nothing.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. From the reviews of that game, maybe I am the lucky one.
You probably got a point there.
Probably.
They went with sci-fi instead of Flash. I'm not happy.
Right? I'm with you.
Joe Colton, you don't care.
Content is probably a special Mercer Recondo mission.
More than likely, just to alienate both Joe Colton and I. Get us in one fell swoop.
I'll play it. Language.
You don't hate Recondo. You just hate Recondo because now. Anyway, you never hated Recondo before.
He's not my favorite.
Well, that's fine. He doesn't have to be your favorite.
He is a jungle trooper from Wisconsin wearing a French musketeer hat.
Is that right?
Just saying.
Yeah, personality disorder, probably.
Got a killer mustache, though, man. I'm telling.
That's some serious stash work. That is Andrew Franks worthy.
Other than Mindbender, was he leading the league in total mustache?
I mean, up there with Wild Bill.
Yeah, Wild Bill had the push.
And Dogfight had a good one.
Yeah, Dogfight.
Dogfight is the one everybody forgets, man. I'm all about Dogfight.
Redhead, just saying.
He's the ginger Wild Bill.
Yeah.
Maybe the three of them could be like the Three Musketeers.
Wild
Bill, and Dogfight.
Wild Bill had a little ginger going on, as I recall.
Yeah.
The figure did, yeah. The animation did not. And the comic book generally didn't. But I was thinking him with a
slight ginger in him.
Yeah. I could just see little Wild Bill running around as a kid in Texas, hiding from the sun.
Right.
Yep.
Come on, Wild Bill. Let's go play outside. No. Can't be doing that.
No, I'm going to work in a helicopter flight simulator. I'll be all right.
Shouldn't the Dragonfly have had a tinted cockpit just to help him out?
I mean, you'd hope. He did have that big hat, though. Maybe that helped.
I'm just saying, like, damn, he's closer to the sun. That's like hazard pay for a ginger.
And Torpedo Mike puts up Keel Hall for the Mustache Hall of Fame, but he's got a good one, but it's not like the other three guys we talked about. He's got that like mutt, that great Mike Ditka kind of mustache, but that's
I got late entry.
Magnum PI.
What about Major Blood, dude? Now we're talking.
Major Blood had the classic, the Dick Dastardly kind of snidely whiplash thing going on. He had some effort going into that one. Yeah. Anyway. So Operation Blackout is on Steam. Go check that out the next couple of days. Still get yourself the sale price there. Sorry we're late on that one. Next news item. There we go. There we go. But you get distracted by Santa or something? What happened there, Joe Colton? Dropping the ball on us.
You froze. I didn't hear anything you said.
Oh, all right. My bad. Like the honcho.
Okay, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah, moving on.
That was pretty good, though, because I wouldn't have remembered to not blink. We can all do the fill. Just freeze up, and then the rest of us can all stare at the...
Yeah, I should stop doing the mid-talk, but I should do one. I should work harder with the hand, but I should do one like...
Then it would just look like the end of the video, so...
Right. And people would log off. No.
People would bail on us. We already have a problem with people bailing on us. Come on. Good Lord. Next news item.
Want me to do the sound again?
No, you're good. You're good. I just remembered we got the sound, so whatever. G.I. Joe figures have been spotted at retail. They've been given the unofficial title Titan Class because apparently we're just here to rip off Transformers. Toy Shiz on Instagram posted images of 3 new 10-inch G.I. Joe figures available for approximately $9.99 a piece. Each figure has 5 points of articulation and an accessory. It is Duke with a rifle, Storm Shadow with a sword, and Snake Eyes with a sword. They should be available wherever toys are sold. And we do have, we got something like I got one of those images. And so right there, we can see the 3 of them. There is a very bland Duke. And the reports I was seeing said 5 points of articulation, but I'll tell you, I only count 3 in the photo.
Yeah.
Unless maybe the wrists, I don't know. And then Storm Shadow and Snake Eyes. You can see we got the image credit down there at the bottom. There's only, I mean, these aren't for us, right? We're collectors in on the deep end of this thing. These are, low cost things for grandma and grandpa to buy because they don't know any better, and don't want to spend a ton of money on. It's the impulse buy at the register to keep the kids quiet. It's not for us, but it's great that they're making an attempt to market G.I. Joe to a younger crowd than what the classified line and the retro line are going to be picking up. And so you see Duke's little gun in there, Storm Shadow's little sword, Snake Eyes' little sword. I suppose the most interesting thing about this, that's probably pretty close to what classified Storm Shadow is going to look like.
And I'm okay with that. Like, and we actually introduced these on Transformers, right? And took some flack because one of the first things I said in my very first Hasbro meeting when they were pitching, God, it was like, I don't know, Bakugan or something with Transformers. And a VP said, "What do you think, Webb?" On day one, because I wasn't going to say anything because I didn't like it, and it was Dave Kunitz actually from the Joe team, the guy chiefly responsible for working on the Defiant, and we only overlapped for a couple weeks. Great guy, and he called me out basically because he wanted to know my opinion and wasn't sure I would speak up, and I said, "It doesn't transform. It doesn't seem like much of a transformer." And he said exactly right. And I'm like, okay, good. Glad I didn't anger the whole team on day one. It took longer than that. But there was a lot of flack, a lot of backlash about these on Transformers because the dedicated fans did not want them, especially on Transformers because they didn't change at all. And guess what? They sold great. These
Really?
are, like Mike said, these are not for us at all. This is for a 4 or a 5-year-old who maybe can't transform a toy right. But Bumblebee looks cool. Optimus is cool. So at $10, yeah. And for the Joe guys to come with a weapon rather than have it molded into the hand, that's pretty good. And I was going to rip on Snake Eyes' sword because if you look at it, he can kill guys from around a corner.
Right.
Because there's some significant warping going on there. But given that I bet the age grade is low on it, they probably have to use a softer plastic. So no kid, very Christmas story, right? Poke your eye out. So I like them. There's nothing not to like other than, and I know they pinch pennies on these real close, but damn, if you're going to go retro Duke, there's only one thing that really makes Duke Duke, and that's the bandolier, right? And it would be molded on. It would just be a paint app, right?
A paint app, even better. It's instead of a bandolier, you're giving them a stripe.
It's no. I mean, if it was molded on, if it was part of the chest mold, the only cost would be for that paint app to go. It's two basically, one on the front, one on the back, and we're done. So it's nitpicky, but I would like to have seen it. It's like Snake Eyes' visor.
That's going to get this is going to be like, no bandolier. I don't want this.
Yeah. I mean, for kids, yeah. See? Yeah.
How is he the only one of the three without a bandolier? Now that is a valid point. That one I'll take.
My point is valid. Come on now.
Kinda. I guess. He only used to be like head of marketing stuff.
It was a long time ago, my friend.
You know what's an even longer time ago when we started this brutal podcast.
I guess that's.
I thought you were going to say Jessica.
But we had brand new 4-inch figures. I digress.
But anyways, that's the news. It's kind of a light news week. Nobody's putting stuff out before Christmas. I'm waiting for my closing news sound.
I didn't even know we had a sound for the end of the news.
I mean, I just thought it was more doots, but
whatever.
Apparently the chick who misses 3 weeks, she gets to make she gets to redo the format.
Format change.
Right? Incredible. Anyhow, it brings us to a new special segment. Not one we're going to remake too often, but
once a year.
More than likely, yeah. We'll dig it up. Maybe we'll do one in July, like Crazy Eddie used to do. But the very special Your Christmas G.I. Joe Wishes segment, where we decide what's the one thing we want to see coming out of a really rough 2020. What's the one thing we want to see our favorite line do in 2021? And we will start with the honcho, Mark Weber.
Well, I mean, I'll steal the obvious one, right?
Go for it.
Don't do it.
Do it.
Don't do it.
Like, I got the angel, the devil on the shoulders, right?
Do it.
Look,
Do it.
Better.
I don't know how closely people have paid attention to this. This might be a little too inside baseball or too minutia for you, but even pandemic aside, G.I. Joe movies have a hard time coming out on time, right? Like, there have been a delay or two, over the years with some unforeseen consequences,
A few.
some victims, body by the road. But let's hope. Because if the Joe movie comes out on time, because they've said they want it as a theatrical release, not a streaming or more hybrid or something. If the Joe movie comes out on time, that means it's safe to go back into theaters. And that ties into a greater hope, right? We all want to be able to go back to movie theaters. So if the Joe movie comes out on time, it means things are rolling again come fall. So I'm hoping for an on-time release of the Joe movie, and that it's good, right? That's 2 wishes. But, yeah.
Although, if people start going back to the theaters, it might mean less impressive television offerings like The Mandalorian.
That's true.
Where, spoiler alert, they brought back Indiana Jones.
Oh!
Oh, wait, no, that's completely wrong.
No. His part got cut because there was no time for love, Dr. Jones.
No time. So that's the honcho's pick. Joe Colton. We're counting on you to be unprepared. What is your G.I. Joe wish for 2021?
For Hasbro to never use network again.
Oh, that's a good one.
I think that's an easy one. I think you got that. I think they got that one in 2020.
Yeah, hers is more likely than mine. But
all right. So this is going to be unique. I would love for them to do another G.I. Joe ornament with Hallmark.
Okay.
There's not many of them out there, and I have all of them, but like every 3 to 4 years, G.I. Joe get one. Like, not that.
This would be perfect if it's Hallmark presents the Recondo ornament, and it's just a mustache.
Right. It's something you could take off the tree and put on yourself.
Right.
At which point I'd buy 2.
Yep.
I think you're going to get your wish though, because if this movie comes out in November as we're expecting it to, or October as we expect it to, late October, there'll be Christmas stuff. There will be a Hallmark ornament that pushes into that.
I think your language is too strong there, Mike. As we're expecting it to.
God will be back on way to a dance.
As currently scheduled.
There, that's probably better. But you're talking to the guy who tossed that in John Chu's face. Okay, so you come on now.
I guess that's true.
Let us know when we could start to plan on, waiting for the G.I. Joe 3 delays. That was me.
That's a good point. And as if you weren't prescient enough, right?
Right. I went back and I listened to that bit again, and it's scary how much of that joke turned out to not be a joke.
Still relevant, right?
We're still living in that. It's 6 years ago. We're still living in that one.
If that had been a live stream, I hope you were wearing like the Karnak babushka thing.
The turban? No, I said it was audio only. You can find it on our Podbean page if you want to go take a look. We did have an interview with John Chu back in the day.
Yep.
Immediately following retaliation. That was before Joe Colton was on the program, wasn't it?
Yep.
So we're going back a ways at that point.
And before John Chu was big time, right?
Before he was only medium time when we talked to him. He's big time now.
Yeah.
So good on him though.
Yeah.
I think he did a good job. But my wish is that the push for G.I. Joe continues. It just feels like right now G.I. Joe is so close to being a thing.
So
and
close.
it's almost, yeah, right. I mean, there's product, and there's starting to be some merchandising, and again, we're expecting a movie, and there's a video game, and there's all this other great stuff, and it still feels like it's being put up as a second banana for other franchises at Hasbro.
And they just need that. They just need something, right? That one thing to push it over the top.
Just kind of tip it up over the point there.
Yeah.
Get some nice momentum going the other way. And I don't know. I think part of that they could help do themselves by getting Joe out front of their own. I don't know. You want to call it maybe the general type stuff. Like Hasbro still owns a substantial amount of Discovery Kids, right? But where maybe some new G.I. Joe programming on cable would be good, or maybe something on Netflix would be good, or maybe just
and that cartoon would be great.
Perhaps a Fan Friday that happens a little bit more often than once every 2 months. And I don't want to criticize the content in those things, because they're giving us what they have at the time.
Mm-hmm.
But it just kind of feels like an afterthought. It's like, oh, well, we did Transformers, and then we did 5 Marvels, and then we did another Transformers, and then we did 3 Star Wars, and oh, well, we'll throw one in for Joe too, and we'll only make it half an hour long. It'd be great. Be great.
And the house-owned brand should be their priority.
You'd think so.
Transformers, which is basically house-owned. It should be Joe. It should be Nerf. When have you seen a Nerf anything on Pulse?
Well, I saw it as G.I. Joe weapons.
Yeah, and I dig that. I think that's great, but probably not pushing Nerf on the Pulse. Like, by and large, I think what they're doing on the Hasbro Pulse is great. But how do you not have Nerf involved?
It's Nerf.
Yeah, I guess Nerf or nothing.
Yeah.
I know what they could do to push that brand over the top, but I'll let you guess.
Go on. Don't leave us hanging. What is it? I don't know. I happen to know a former G.I. Joe brand manager who is a hot free agent.
Right.
Perhaps it's time for a return.
Has some availability at the moment.
I'm not rooting for that, because it means I have to find a new host.
Yeah.
But
think of all the leaks. Oh.
Yeah, we would have to demand exclusives at that point, I think.
Remember all the leaks when I was running the brand?
Great.
I don't know. We were all I know is when there was media scrums, we were in them.
That's right. That's right.
That's what I remember.
And now, not so much.
Not so much now. No. Even though we know they're still listening to us.
That thing we talked about, Mike, I don't know, 10 days ago. I haven't got that email yet. Weird.
Oh, well. Strange.
Somebody embedded in the fan community.
I think just certain people are wary of our legitimacy. I will just leave it at that. Yes, that is exactly right. It's that thing.
Maybe we're a little too legitimate.
I just keep thinking of Peter Potamus on the Birdman cartoon. Did you get that thing I sent you?
Yeah, that was a little too inside. Whatever.
A little bit, maybe, but that's what happens. Oh, but yes, I'd like to see Hasbro be proud of having G.I. Joe as their #1 brand again.
Yep,
that's what I would like to see. I'd like to see that kind of a commitment.
That was when I was there, man. That was my goal. Was for one of the company meetings, everybody together in a big room, was to have the Joe logo on one of those big PowerPoints.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
It was only when they would show like everything, and it would be down there in the bottom feeding, barely alive brands down at the very bottom, little tiny, like there it is over in the corner. Look. And like, that was one of my main goals, was just to get the big Joe logo up big, like Transformers, like Nerf, like My Little Pony, like make it a player again. And I just ran out of time.
You'd see Snake Eyes at the bottom cradling a baby alive.
Right?
Anyways, but do we want to add perhaps small wishes for 2021?
Yeah.
Maybe a specific character that you want to see, or maybe a vehicle you want to see, or maybe just a wrinkle on something that we've already seen. Well, Mark, why don't you take that one?
I want to see them come back with, because this is simple. This is a simple request, and there've been breadcrumbs about it. More the same Cobra Island thing re-released. Let people have a shot at some stuff that they missed. So, and just heavier pack the Cobra Troopers, because that's what everyone wants. But it would be brutal if they never released that perfect Baroness in a way that everybody could get it, right?
Mhm.
Like anything they do, because usually you wouldn't release the exact same figure a second time. So if they put out Baroness in a mainline series, but it's Crimson Baroness, that's great. That would sell. Or, Cobra Blue Baroness, that's cool too. We'll buy them all. But Jet Black Baroness is it. It's the best version, the iconic version of one of easily the 10 best characters in Joe history. So to have it be that limited, if it's never available again, truly, that Baroness is going to be worth hundreds of dollars on the secondary market, because it's the best version. And
Right.
I think it would be a real disservice to the fan community and just retail in general. It's going to sell. So get more out there. So I'd love to see that, because it would also mean that their ear to the community is open. That as much gnashing of teeth as there's been, and a lot of it off color and some of it not very professional, but the underlying tone is you didn't make enough, right? You didn't do this right. Please,
by a lot.
Please make it right. And if they did, then it would show that they're willing to listen and willing to adapt. There's nothing wrong with it. Getting something wrong. It happens to all of us, right? So fine. You
usually a good half dozen times before 9 a.m.
Yeah, sometimes live on the live stream. But to be able to acknowledge that, you know what? Yeah, we missed that, and we're gonna make it right, would say a lot about the brand. So that's my hope, because it would speak well of the brand in general, and it's free money.
Right.
Hey, Target, do you want more of that thing that sold out like crazy? And unless they went, no, we never want to deal with those people again, and those people aren't Hasbro.
Right. You want to have enough of them put on the shelves so that people aren't harassing your people all the time.
Those people they're tired of are us. But yeah, I would love to see that.
Joe
Colton, how about you?
I completely agree. Either re-release them. The Baroness was great. But I also think maybe adding a few of that line, something new that they weren't, like they can surprise us with that we would never expect. Like maybe a 2-pack, and maybe a 2-pack, or maybe a like the Baroness, but like a small vehicle and a figure, something like that, but from the Cobra Island. But yeah, to re-release Cobra Trooper, everyone wants one. Everyone Army builds them. It's easy. Why not?
We have heard some rumblings that there is. What is that?
I don't know, but you said we've heard rumblings, and then we heard rumblings,
and then there was literal rumblings. Yeah,
that's incredible.
I'm good. I am.
Do we have the budget for that?
Right?
Is that Joe's stomach?
Yeah, but getting, and I don't want to put it like, I get that there's a secondary market and we don't necessarily want to wreck that, but there are so few of those Baronesses out there, for example, in relation to demand, that it's almost criminal. Like that just has to be out there again. If not the same, but really similar. Maybe there's some paint app difference, or maybe instead of gold pistols, she's got silver ones, but something really close to that has to hit again. Mm-hmm. Same thing with Beachhead. Beachhead was real tough to find, and maybe I don't know, maybe to get some other detail on there that is on. I don't know what it is because that's pretty close to the version 1, so I don't know what you change on it necessarily. Maybe it's go ahead.
Eye color.
Yeah, no, they did that already.
Damn.
But and the trooper and maybe you do something with that roadblock to make them a little bit more desirable. Maybe you just but that whole wave in general was so much effort for a lot of folks to just come up completely empty and have to resort to eBay and secondary prices that have just gone out of control. So,
or pull the roadblock altogether, because anybody who wanted one probably got one. That one wasn't hard, and there's a slot in the case for another Cobra Trooper, right?
Yeah.
When? I'm just saying. And I agree with you in general, with the general point of you don't want to re-release something exactly the same that has any kind of secondary market value. But if you do it quick enough, it's almost like an extension of the original release. It'd be different if they put it out a year and a half from now. But
yeah,
just doing it now, it's like, we ran out of stock, so we ran more. Okay, cool. The few people that it's legitimately going to offend are the people who were trying to make money on it by jacking it up crazy on eBay. And
right.
What if their investment came out sour? Then don't invest in toys. Just saying.
Yeah, because God forbid that $200 that you're trying to get for that Baroness pack, so you can only get 50 out of it. Well, that's too bad.
Yeah.
Only a 20% return on your investment. How awful.
Yeah, but how many hours did Scalper Boy spend pedaling his bike all over, Hoboken? To find that extra Baroness. Now I'm feeling
pedaling his bike. What century are you in there, the honcho?
Right? He was taking the time off from selling newspapers.
Right.
On the corner. And listen listening to the bums on the radio. Yeah.
Read all about it.
Duke
Baroness re-released with purple hair.
Duke Snyder hits 3 homers. Read all about it.
So that's it for that one. I guess we'll revisit that next year? Figure out how right or wrong we were. No, we're not going to remember that far.
I don't know.
Kiss it goodnight. It's done.
It might be Joe's next show. Oh. That's cold.
I leave you guys for 2 weeks. I missed you.
I'm sure she'll be back. She'll pop up once somewhere in May or something.
Yeah.
Kind of break that up.
Here.
I'll let you know where all this venom comes from, Joe. After the show.
I'm so terrified to leave you alone again.
Yeah, don't do it. Don't do it. All the pictures you see online of like the 5-year-old who got to their baby brother with the Sharpie pen? That's pretty much yeah.
So give everybody who's watching us live a chance to get their thoughts together, because we will have a little bit of time for some viewer questions before we head out tonight. But just give everybody a heads up. We are past the 300 subscriber barrier. So that's good. We've come a long way. That's about a 25% growth in just about less than 2 weeks. So that's pretty good. But it's not good enough.
You don't want to see me.
No.
Not good enough. We need to get to 500. 500 is the first magic number. And when we get to 500, we are giving away
Baroness.
No.
Look at that.
Oh.
We got a Gung Ho. We got a Cobra Commander. That is. We'll figure out how we're giving it away once we get past 500.
500 subscriber. Is that what we're doing?
No. We will figure out what the contest is once we get past 500 subscribers.
Yeah.
There's been no mention of the actual contest. We're just not doing a contest until we get to 500.
I don't want some jabroni sitting out there going, well, I won't subscribe till they're at like $4.95.
Right.
And, you're not going to eBay snipe this contest win. Doesn't work like that.
Because really the opposite way would be I would sooner give that to subscriber number 1, whoever that was.
Mm-hmm.
Back in the day. I think subscriber number 1 might have been Rob, so maybe not.
I hope he got win. We like Rob.
He's got it though, and he's ineligible because he's technically part of the show.
Yeah.
So that's right. Torpedo Mike has it right. It is the plug the damn show movement.
That's right. Here's a formatting question. If Rob is ineligible, does that mean Wes is ineligible as well?
He's family of cast members, so yes.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Similarly, you cannot enter Derek into all this stuff.
It's fine.
Or Mrs. Weber.
Right? What about my big brother Mike?
No.
Former cop. Okay, fine.
Yeah. Second cousins are allowed.
I got to tell you this. Mike looks like me on steroids with a bitchin' mustache.
All right, then.
Yeah. And if you haven't seen a push broom red mustache, you haven't lived life, baby. Oh, man. Wild Bill would be ashamed. Matter of fact, Big Brother Mike might be Dogfight.
Is he going to play Dogfight in the movie? That was my question, yeah.
Probably. That's a good idea. We'll see. We'll see.
He can fly some low altitude prop plane full of bombs.
When Big Mike would break my toys on accident, he would just go, you know what? It's realistic battle damage.
Is that on accident or is that on accident?
No, he wasn't mean.
Okay.
He wasn't mean, but once in a while, thumbs do break, and and before you know it, that Cobra officer's driving the Jeep. Thumb, get in the vehicle, baby.
No thumb, no problem.
That's it. I guess you can fire the cannons of an ass with only 8 fingers.
That's right. That's right.
I've seen it.
You get the triggers. You just maybe if it's the button on top, you can kind of swing your fingers up top and
right.
Anyways, just a thought. We'll let you guys diagram that one out in your own heads there.
Here's a good question: is Cot Guy eligible?
Cot Guy is eligible because Joe Colton has not accepted his marriage proposal. So Cot Guy is in.
Eligible for the contest, but also eligible for the ladies. Yeah.
Now that Joe Colton set him free, yes.
I got to believe that guy's still a free agent of love.
Oh, but yeah, Cot Guy's eligible. Why wouldn't he be?
As Joe calls him, the one that got away. Ladies, he's still available.
He's still out there.
Joe might have his contact info somewhere.
He's still out there. Just put together a scarlet costume and get yourself online, and he'll find you.
Joe, did you delete that email and then burn that computer? I figured. All right. You got to do some legwork then, ladies.
And then pickaxed the remains.
He's still looking for his hot girl.
Oh, okay. Here we got a question. What about my question? Any classified vehicles coming? Well, we don't know.
No.
We've heard some rumblings to that effect, but nothing I can confirm for you.
I mean, we know that the Baroness sold well, right?
Yeah,
and that was the first toe dip into the vehicle section. So I got to believe that a small-ish vehicle could be in play moving forward. But you're looking at, a claw glider or a Ram motorcycle, maybe. That's what we're talking about, maybe. Right. It would be a big jump to get to, because even what we've talked about it before, what's a Vamp going to cost to scale?
Mhm.
120,
Wow.
probably. So that sounds like Hasbro Pulse or HasLab as the first dip. That's my guess. But could you get Serpentor with an air chariot? Yeah, I think so. Could you get, let me come up with a bad one.
Road Toad.
No, it's always low crawl vehicle. I'm trying to think who would just be awful.
Build a figure Coastal Defender.
Oh, yeah, now we're close. Yeah, I might have to give you that one.
Cobra Jetpack.
Cobra Jetpack with Cobra Trooper in it going, no. No. Maybe with him running away from it in packaging or holding a short straw, literally. Like, sorry, Biff.
He's got removable boots for when they just get torn off of him by the wind shear.
Maybe a different kind of brutal chest cut so he can bend over and kiss his own ass goodbye.
So, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see another vehicle come. I'm going to agree with you there, Mark. I don't know what it's going to be. If it might not even be anything that we've seen before. I mean, the coil cycle is not something that they were drawing on previous experience for. So even the one vehicle that's in the line, it made it up out of whole cloth.
Yeah.
So
Matt Rubin's got a good point. Flight pod, baby. Trouble bubble.
That'd be nice, but
right size.
Is it really better than the Cobra Jetpack though? I don't know.
Yeah.
Double engine twin destruction.
Torpedo 83 says, could they reuse motorcycle molds from Marvel Legends for the Dreadnoks, right? And I actually, when they were pinching us for item count, which was always the bear. Well, for everybody, it's the bear. I looked into that and went, look, isn't there some of those random Captain America vehicles that I could Cobra or Joe up just to have something new in the Joe line because it would have already been tooled, right? Mm-hmm. So it's just a package. It's package refresh. Doesn't cost me an item. And I pushed for that and I got pushed back pretty hard. Yeah, they can't really do that, Webb. So I don't know if that was actually truth that it can't be done or if it actually gets tricky with the licenses. That, yeah, that's Punisher's motorcycle, but you can't, just pulling the motorcycle out doesn't not make it Punisher's motorcycle. I think potentially there was a problem there. I tried for stuff like that and got denied. So there may be a legit reason for that.
Well, I'm going back to what you were saying with the Captain America vehicles, like stuff like that. I have a feeling that they were just giving you a line on those because those vehicles didn't show up in those movies.
Yeah,
like they were out of whole cloth. So there was nothing there for they just. It sounds to me like maybe they didn't want to.
Yeah,
but to bring the second part of your thought there with the Punisher and his motorcycle, for example, if that's based on a real bike, maybe they've licensed that for the Punisher, and it would require them to go back and have to license it for other characters again, which might cost them more money. Yeah,
it could be. And the Cap stuff was like, if they had sold it, whether or not it was in a movie, or say it wasn't in the movie, just an ancillary thing they tacked on. But if it was sold under the Cap license, then they paid a royalty on the entire product. And so if they repurposed it under Joe, just the tank or whatever, it's possible that Disney might have seen it and gone, isn't that the Captain America tank? Where's our royalty on that?
So, that's fair. That's true.
Yeah. There could have been something there, or they might have just not wanted to deal with it. But it was something I floated during my time there and got denied. But I really, even though those were not great vehicles, I just wanted to have some vehicle newness in the Joe line, right? And nothing, there's a low bar, man, from the Cobra Rat, right? Like, you label slap just about anything, and you can't tell me it wouldn't fit. It wouldn't be great, but you can't tell me it wouldn't fit.
You got to hold on to your thoughts on the Rat, man. Someday we're gonna do bad stuff that we love again.
Oh, the rat's great. If I were younger, I'd get two and use there is a shell. I'd use it as moccasin toppers. I'd have cobra feet.
Just clamp them on top of your feet.
Now we're talking.
Joe Colton, you look distressed.
Nope.
No, you're good.
Yeah, I was just lagging. I'm like trying to get onto the faster network.
There you go.
Sorry.
You're fine.
I thought you were just jealous of my cobra rat slippers.
Right? I'm about to say, man. It looked like he was in this state of longing. It's like, I wish I had a cobra rat.
Hey, Wes, I know what Joe wants for Christmas.
2 cobra rats.
2 of them, a left and a right. Yeah.
Anyways. I'm pretty sure the rat was an old Mego pocket superhero vehicle. You know, and that
Thanks,
Rob and
Rob.
I are the only ones that remember what those are.
Thanks, Rob Irizarry, if that is your real name.
Yeah. Did we lose the honcho, or is it just me?
No, I hope not.
No, the honcho's here.
Totally here.
Okay.
Where would I go? There's a pandemic going on. Can't go out.
You were in Rhode Island. It's in one of the worst spots on earth.
That's it. I stay here. I go to the grocery store. Oh, boy.
Oh, there goes Joe Colton.
Once in a while, I go to the sledding hill to watch kids hurt themselves. And that's it. I would like to welcome Joe Colton back to the broadcast.
Thank you.
You seem to be on speed a bit better this time around.
Yeah, I don't know what happened.
Wes logged off of World of Warcraft. Maybe some bandwidth back. Or maybe not.
Wes isn't a World of Warcraft guy. He's a
Witcher.
He's a first-person shooter guy, isn't he?
That's right. Yeah. To be fair, Witcher is market research, right?
Yes.
Wes's Witcher cosplay is spot on.
Thank you.
I don't know if he can limp like Henry Cavill, though, from what I heard.
That's right.
But
only Joe Colton can answer for sure.
True.
Take him out at the knee.
So how many different Christmas headdresses do you have tonight, Joe Colton?
Got one more.
Okay.
One more. My dad sent me a Yankees Christmas hat.
Now we're talking.
Join the club.
Well played. You fit right in.
No, I wanted a Jays hat, and he's like, they don't have those. I'm getting a Yankees hat.
You don't need no Toronto Blue Jays, nothing.
Right? They say
garbage franchise.
Toronto has money to spend this offseason, and nobody will go there because they can't be sure they're going to play in Toronto next year. Mm-hmm. Right? They're going to be in Buffalo again.
And it's really cold.
The Buffalo Jays.
Normally, we just take your hockey teams. But now, like baseball, that's us. Get back here. We'll get the Raptors.
Yeah.
You mean the Tampa Bay Raptors?
No, the Montana Raptors. So good. God. Playing before dozens of fans. It's going to be good.
You know, there's separatist militias forming in the upper deck. You know,
right?
That's how bad it is.
In Helena, it's a hell of a good time at the Raptors game. Look, I'm marketing.
A hell of a good time. Awesome.
So,
I don't know who you are anymore.
Oh,
leaves and now this.
Remember, you're tuned to What's on Joe Mind with Shecky, Mark Weber.
And special guest, Joe Colton.
Special guest, yes, Joe Colton. That rare once a month, like a full moon appearance by Joe Colton.
The rarest of things. A redhead with blue eyes. Wait.
So, Joe Colton, fill us in. We've moved on now. We're done with contest progress. We've probably gotten all the viewer questions we're going to get. Before we move into what we got in, what'd you do with yourself the last couple weeks?
Had a birthday. I sat and finally watched Frozen 1 and 2.
Oh wow!
And I liked it. The way that they are getting me is each girl cooks something. Our bubble, basically, it's like the 3 girls or 4 girls, and literally somebody brings over a dish. And so we each make something we've never made before or that's really good. And we sit and we watch the movie. So they started out with Beauty and the Beast because I've seen it. And then they went into Frozen 1 and 2. And they were like, you're going to bawl your eyes out. And I was like, okay. It's nice, though. I did like it.
You cry at everything.
No, I didn't. No, I didn't. Also, I think Wes is Olaf because he doesn't shut up.
Does Wes like warm hugs?
He does.
Okay.
Yeah, fair enough. You're probably
and
getting
he has, useless facts.
You're probably getting a skewed answer on that. I doubt Wes would like warm hugs from either of us.
You know what? Hugs available. Just saying.
Hugs.
Bring it in. Bring it in.
Joe, did you like? I thought
That's
you
true.
would have eaten up the Night Shyamalan twist at the end of Frozen 1, right? Where true love doesn't always have to be the boring, handsome prince without much going for him, other than the square jawline, who shows up and makes the princess's life complete.
Yeah.
I like that. I thought first Frozen was fantastic.
Yeah.
I haven't seen either one of them, so I'll take your word for it.
Mike, I gave it away. You know what? It's not a spoiler. 5 years later? No. That's on you.
Yeah, you saw me. I offered no. I mean, I had a feeling there was something of a happy ending there because they did go on and make a second one. Call it a hunch.
The Frozen 3D is going to be amazing. Can't wait.
Is that where they team up with Iceman from the X-Men and fight mutants?
Frozen, The Reckoning.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Good. So, Joe Colton, your birthday, we just wanted to make sure that we got a chance to wish you a public happy birthday.
That's right.
Thank you.
Now that you've turned somewhere between 27 and 73.
Somewhere in there.
But you look great for 73.
I tell you. Right? And for an 80-year-old, Wes is killing it.
Still hasn't grown, though.
Older man. Just saying.
Still working that height gag.
Maybe not.
Man, you are cold.
I'm just saying.
Joe Colton, you may want to switch hats again because we're coming into the home stretch.
Oh. Hat hair. Hat hair. Where'd she go?
See, Mark, I was trying to get her to put the Yankee hat on.
Damn it, Mike. We just got her back.
I know, right?
Oh.
There we go. There we go.
I had to get it on the other side. So weird. Where is it?
You need to center it up so that we got the Yankees logo up front. There we go.
Put it slightly askew, like that jabroni pitcher we got from Seattle. Who's that guy? Pine Tar Neck guy?
No, we gave him to Seattle.
We got him from Seattle.
I don't know. I don't remember. He's gone now. Who
cares? Back?
That's good. See? Now you look. Yeah. You know what would look better? I'm just saying. Is if you'd have left the big gold New Era sticker on it. Because nothing says I know what I'm doing like not taking the sticker off a cap or flattening or leaving the brim flat. Like, yeah. You know what they call that? What the kids these days call that? That's woman kryptonite, right?
What's important here, Mark, is you're not bitter.
If you see a guy out there with a flat brim cap with a gold sticker on the brim, yeah, you know. Probably has an Apple Watch on too. Just saying.
Probably doesn't
You're
put the tag off
taking
his,
the Apple Watch away?
I'm just saying that kind of guy is something that rhymes with unduckable. That's what I'm saying.
No.
Joe Colton, you're going to have the firsthand experience with that. Is what the honcho's saying correct?
Yes. Although I do wear flat brim hats.
What?
Yeah.
You just haven't had the time? Haven't had the time to break it
So-
in properly?
So I don't do it to all my hats, but I do buy flat brim hats.
Well, they come flat. I buy flat brim hats too. And then
I
I
leave them like that.
and then I
don't. So like my Suicide Squad one has like art. I don't want to like curve it, so it just stays flat, and I wear it crooked.
Joe,
It's a
do
thing.
you have tags on your pillows?
No,
Just saying.
no,
But they come like
just
that.
flat brim.
Just saying. Just saying. That's it.
Douchebag.
Rob knows.
Thanks,
himself.
Rob.
Thanks a lot.
Rhymes with mooshbag.
Yes, it does.
Don't make me take this off.
Gotta
Can't
say
take
that
it off. We're in the home stretch.
Yankee hat's looking good. Big
Another
enough.
one.
My goodness.
So it's time for what we got in. Joe Colton, you've been gone for like 3 weeks, so gather up all your stuff. Mark Weber,
Yeah.
while she's doing that, what you get in this week?
Everything I got in this week is for someone else. I've been wrapping presents like crazy. So nothing new on the collecting front for El Honcho. Hopefully we'll have some surprises under the tree. So
All right, fair enough.
nothing for me, but lots of stuff for other people because it's better to give than receive.
That's arguable, but
Not
whatever.
at all.
If
It's
that's
not at all.
if that's the cliche you want to go with, Mark Weber, we'll let that
But-
go.
Next week is the biggest holiday of the year, right?
It is Mark Weber Day
It's Mark Weber Day.
next
And
Thursday.
then you guys can have the next day off for Christmas. I'll allow it. Yeah. So, and if your boss doesn't give you Mark Weber Day off, shame on him or her, right?
I get to leave early on Mark Weber Day.
Good.
I get time to reflect on Mark Weber's impact on my life.
See, I don't know if that's enough time. Might bleed over.
Look, man, I got to live it every week, so I need less time than most.
Yeah, I suppose that's true. So anyway, lots of stuff coming my way next week. A veritable plethora, El Wapo, coming to me next week with the double birthday and Christmas. So it will be amazing. So not next week because we have a bye, but the week after that, good Lord, what I got in we're gonna have.
Yeah, we are planning to go New Year's Day, right?
Yeah,
we're on New Year's night, right? Friday, January 1. We're in this.
we'll be so hungover.
We expect
You're
that from
not
Joe
gonna be
Colton.
hungover. I'm definitely gonna be hungover.
Don't you think, just given the kind of year it's been, that it's going to be the best New Year's ever, even if we're celebrating separately? Like 12/31 is going to be a big deal this year.
Yeah, it's probably for the best that we'll all be drinking at home.
Yeah.
Or we all should be drinking at home.
Yeah.
So, Joe Colton, you got 3 weeks to make up here. What'd you get in?
True.
The only thing I got in, so remember I told you guys that I got the villains from like special edition from Disney. So I got Madame Terrain, and then I got the Evil Queen.
She's frozen.
See it?
So
Okay, I can see it now.
kind of.
Sort of.
You're off center. There we go. That's a little better.
Packaging looks amazing.
Yeah, and the art is like holographic.
Right? Sounds like a magnet click when you close it.
It is, and there's like a peep window from above. So that's the art on the back. Really cool.
That's pretty slick. Are there more coming in this collection, or are you caught up?
No, so I only wanted 2 out of the 5 dolls, but they're all like that detail. Like they have eyelashes, a very like you can see the hair on the eyelashes, and the paint jobs and the head sculpts are amazing. So I only got 2 of them.
The Evil Queen and Lady Tremaine made the cut.
Yeah.
So who got left on the JV squad?
Hades, Ursula, Maleficent, and Isma.
How are you going to skip on Maleficent?
She was really plain.
Okay.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Maybe if she came with a flat brim hat or something to dress it up.
Nah, it was they made her the horns out of her hair, and that was the most interesting thing. So I was like,
That sounds kind of weak.
Yeah, it was the weakest of the figures.
All right,
and they're gigantic. Like 17 inches.
Damn.
Yeah. So
there you go.
So they could literally kick the hell out of any other toy in your collection.
Yes, except my gem doll from like 1980s.
I just want to see Lady Tremaine kicking Darth Vader's ass. That'd be cool. Bam!
Vader. Get it, Vader. Just kick him.
You're more Trek than Wars, right? Get out of here, Klingon.
Definitely kick a Klingon's butt.
I could totally see Lady Tremaine taking the back left or whatever and celebrating with it.
But yeah, that's all I got in.
All right, good enough. I got nothing, so let's move right into shout-outs.
Man.
Mark Weber, who are we shouting out for?
You know what? It's Christmas, even though we're separated. It's time for family, right? So let's shout it out to the Weber family. That's my mom, Nola, in Oregon, my dad, John, and my older brother, Mike, in New Jersey. So that's look at that. There's a Christmas card with the lovely Mrs. Weber and Derek and Elizabeth, the Lord and Lady of Sled Hill, who were taking care of Barrington today like nobody's business. So yeah, we'll give it up for the Weber family. How's that?
All right. Go, Colton.
I will go. So I'm not going to see my parents this Christmas like I usually do. So I will give a shout out to my mom and dad, Little Immigrant and Little Immigrant 2. Wes.
Sounds like a bad comedy sequel, right?
They are comedy.
Little Immigrant made 50 million. Little Immigrant 2, straight to video.
Straight to video.
They're a comedic act together. And then Wes's family, and then our friends, obviously, and of course, because I'm not going to see you. Happy birthday, Mark Weber.
Woo! It's the most wonderful time of the year.
It is. It's a national holiday.
That's it.
How many Mark Weber trees do you have up in the house there, Joe Colton?
Ooh.
I have.
That's a nickname for the white Christmas trees, right?
Right.
That's a Weber tree. Put a red star on top, and perfect.
I have 12 Christmas trees in the house.
Oh, such a fire hazard.
Are any of them pale enough to be Mark Weber trees?
No, but I did think about spraying the gnome tree white.
A little short, but I'll take it.
Red hat, white beard, white tree.
I'll take it.
A little cute guy.
A honcho tree.
Yep.
A honcho tree.
And for anybody else who has a birthday next week, you have my sympathies. Yeah.
Condolences all around. Joe Colton, who else you got?
That's it. Well, you and your brother and your family and Rob. Yes. That's it.
Right. I do have 2 brothers, so it's important.
I haven't met the other one.
I thought she was saying your brother, Ole, and Rob Liefeld. Oh, no.
Just our brothers in arms, Rob Liefeld.
I hope you get feet for Christmas. Maybe you'll get feet for Christmas.
Come on now. He's been waiting for feet for Christmas for how many years?
Right.
Still hasn't happened. I don't think this is going to be the year.
It's a Christmas miracle.
Bamboo hurts, man.
God bless us, everyone.
Yeah, the Hague has sent paperwork to my place here because I'm under investigation for crimes against humanities for having Rob review Snake Eyes Dead Game.
And G.I. Joe 275.
So hopefully we'll come out of that all right. Fingers crossed.
Dude.
Fingers crossed that the Hague decides to let me off the hook. My shout outs, of course, to Racktime Rob, the unheralded fourth man of our outfit. To Kokomo Toys, our wonderful sponsors.
Oh, yeah.
The folks who gave us, Gung Ho and Cobra Commander to give away at 500 subscribers. Be sure to share our videos and all of our tweets and YouTubes and Facebooks and things. Come on already.
Yeah.
We want to give some stuff away to everybody out there who has tuned in for us live tonight. Thank you very much for being a part of things. Merry Christmas to you all. If you enjoyed, I believe Hanukkah wound up last night. If that was your jam, I hope you had a great one. And we do have Festivus upcoming as well. So
join us for our special redress of grievances show.
Have a Krampus show.
That's pretty much isn't that what we do every week though? A redress of grievances?
Yep, fair enough. Fair enough.
We'd at least be on brand. Give a shout out to Mark Weber and family, to Joe Colton and family, to the Irizarry family, to my folks, Jim and Sharon, my brother Jim, my sister Katie, and my sister-in-law Nikki, and everybody else further out. The trouble with lists is eventually somebody doesn't get put on the list.
Yeah.
But we want to. So I'll wind that up by saying, and everybody else in the extended branches of the tree. And of course, if you're not watching this live, thank you all the same. We appreciate your tuning in and viewing us here on What's on Joe Mind. Same call goes out to you. Help us get to 500 subscribers. Go down below, do all the YouTube things, like our video, subscribe to our channel, share us wherever your social media may take you. Because it could be you winning stuff. And then once we get to 500 subscribers and we give some figures away, we're going to give some more figures away when we get to 1,000.
Maybe a vehicle. Never know.
Well, maybe. I'd have to get one at this point. At this point, there is no plans to be giving away a vehicle.
But I know it might be a little vehicle. You never know.
If it's not a Cobra jetpack, don't talk to me.
Nobody wants a Cobra jetpack. That's what they put the new recruits in. Here you go, Biff.
If you survive this, you're an officer.
It's called death from above. They're like, wow, is that true? Yeah, it is.
Oh, my goodness. But please remember to hear from, I'm in Indiana, the unquestioned king of COVID-19 spreadery. We're still in a pandemic. So if you're heading out, please make sure that it is a trip that you absolutely have to be making. Make sure that you are maintaining 6 feet social distancing. Make sure that you are wearing your mask properly. That is over your nose and your mouth like so.
Yeah.
Doesn't do you any good to go halfway. Does you even less good to wear it around your neck. We're not out of a pandemic because we're tired of being in a pandemic. We need to make sure that we are exercising our choice to keep everyone safe from a terrible disease that has killed over 300,000 Americans and many thousands more worldwide. So, for my hosts, Mark the Honcho Weber. Or is it the Honcho Mark Weber?
It's El Honcho. Thank you very much.
It's El Honcho Mark Weber.
Once I finish up a couple of classes, it'll be Dr. Honcho. Even better.
Ooh, well. For the queen of G.I. Joe cosplay, Joe Colton. She's frozen.
Who's starring in Frozen 3?
Am I frozen?
You were for a second, yes.
Quite a bit, yeah.
You had a really goofy smile on, too. No.
That's crazy.
Anyways. I'm Mike Irizarry. Thanks for tuning in to What's on Joe Mind. Have a Merry Christmas. Have a happy Mark Webber Day.
That's what I'm talking about.
Be sure to join us on Friday night, January 1. We will be back with our next new episode. And until then, knowing is half the battle, Yojo. Have a great evening.
Let's try it frozen.